When you are exercising, no matter what it is that you're doing, you really need to be able to monitor yourself. So one way we do is called the talk test. So can you hold a conversation? Now, if you can exercise and speak as normally as I am now, or only just slightly out of breath, or sing along to music, you're possibly not working hard enough. Now, if you are able to hold a conversation, but you're finding yourself having to just take an extra breath with each sentence or throughout the sentence, you're probably working in the right place. So you can't quite sing along to the tune, but you can just talk your way through it. If you're at the point where you're really trying to take a breath, you're struggling and all that sort of stuff, and you can't sing, you can't talk, you're probably working too hard. So we want to be somewhere in the middle, a little bit breathless, but can hold a bit of a conversation. Now, we use that talk test when we're monitoring ourselves with the RPE scale. So RPE stands for Rating of Perceived Exertion. It's your way of just finding out how are your muscles and your joints and your breathing doing. So you look at your whole body. Now, it will change from day to day. It can change from exercise to exercise. So that's where it's really important you understand what's right for you. So I'm using the original 6 to 20 Borg scale. So Borg is the gentleman that provided us with this scale. And some programs will be doing 1 to 10. There's no major difference, so just get familiar with them. That's the main thing. So using this 6 to 20, number 6, no exertion at all. It is literally as if you are lying down, sitting down, doing absolutely nothing. Number 7, think of it, you've stood up and you're just walking around, real easy, no real exercise. Breathing is completely normal. 8 to 9, you're kind of getting to a period that, say you've just started to go out for a walk, you've started to do a little bit of really light housework, a bit of light gardening, or you're starting to do a bit of a warm-up in a structured class. And you're getting to the point where you're warm enough to maybe start doing some stretches, and you feel that your breathing is starting to increase, your muscles are getting warm. You're definitely still not exercising, but you know you're definitely doing something. By the time we get to 10, but ideally around 11, this is where we go from activity into exercise. So this is where we need to be at the end of the warm-up, so our body is prepared to do an actual exercise session. So think 6 to 10 is activity. So when we go into 11, we've got a tick to say we've entered the right zone. This is where light means that you are starting to breathe a little bit heavier. So you know your heart is pumping more, you're warm, your muscles are ready to exercise, they've started to exercise, but you know you can easily keep going. Then we start increasing the intensity a little bit, so maybe moving a bit faster, holding a slightly heavier weight. And then we get to 13, somewhat hard. Now this is where we actually always want to aim ourselves when we're doing the class. We want to feel that our muscles are working, we're breathing heavier, we can hold that conversation still, but you're definitely breathless. You know you can keep doing that exercise for the period of time that's been stated. So that's where we want to be. You might be a bit hot and sweaty as well. Now we get 14, 15. Now 14 is really the limit we want to take you to. If you peak at 15, that is your peak. You hit it and then you calm down. So 15, definitely you're going to start feeling you're breathing heavier. Your muscles are starting to say, I don't want to do this. You start losing a bit of technique and you're going to really start breathing very, very heavily. So that is the limit we want to go to. So when we are exercising in these classes, we want to be between 11 and 14. Can peak at 15, just peak ever so slightly, but ideally we want to be around number 13. That's where we want to be. So this is classified as our exercise zone. Now everything 15 and down to 20 is really for an elite athlete, someone who's really, really pushing themselves, and it's not somewhere that we want to go as cardiac patients. And really just, unless you're trying to be a real good sports person, athlete, there's no need. We will get the benefits of exercise if we are in this zone. So do not ever think you have to get down there. We want to make sure we're not in activity, we want to make sure we're in exercise, but we don't have to push ourselves. Over time, some exercises will start to become easier and easier. I'll give you an example. So say when you first start off, you're doing an exercise like this, and you're thinking, okay, a minute of this, you're breathing a little bit heavier, and you would tell me it's about a 13. Give it a couple of weeks of doing this exercise, you'll start going, it's about an 11 now. So in return, we will then give you a slightly harder version to do. So I would then say, right, let's start bending our knees more. Make sure your arm is up higher. So then that will take you back up to that 13. Over a few weeks, it may start getting easier again. So then you start going for 2 arms. So you're never trying to get to this version here, down to 16, 17s. You're always still trying to stay in this zone, but as you get fitter and healthier, we need to adapt what the exercise is, whether you hold a heavier weight, you go faster, anything like that. That is how we keep ourselves in this zone. And you will see throughout the classes, I will always refer to this too. So I hope that has explained the RPE scale, using the talk test as well, and just go with the flow. There are some days when you feel on top of the world and you want to do loads of exercise, you've got tons of energy, and there are some days when you just really have nothing. Listen to your body, work out where you are on that exercise on that day. So I hope that helps.